2006, it's been a pretty interesting year, to say the least. It's the busiest summer I've ever had in my life. As a professional bike rider, I've spent less time at home than any other summer. Done a whole bunch of demos with Tony Hawk, they've been a blast. And then been to every dew tour in between. Started off at the Snickers Bowl, did the Soul Bowl, played in some poker tournaments. It seems pretty fun in hindsight. When it's happening, you're sort of like, oh, something else. But it's been good. The last couple contests have kind of sucked for me. I tweaked my knee in Portland, just out of nowhere. The weirdest thing, pumping down the tranny, hyperextended my knee. And I'm much better than I was in Portland, but it's still bothering me to an extent. And suddenly, for some reason, I've decided to slide out every flare that I ever try. Beyond that, though, Denver, I had a good comp. The Soul Bowl was good. The shows, I feel like I'm riding great. So it's a little frustrating when you come to a contest and don't ride quite at the same level, but that has to do with a number of different factors. So yeah, no, I'm riding better right now than I ever have in my life. But the contests don't hurt. They definitely, I think, fuel progression, because I've said this many a time. There hasn't been a contest in my life that I've left not being motivated to ride. Like, I go into it thinking, if you did great, you're like, wow, that's so awesome. I should step it up, do this, or that. If you do crap, you leave thinking, oh, that's crap. I need to go learn this, or this. So definitely contests help motivate you to progress. As much as I love traveling, doing shows, contests, I definitely miss out on being at home. Perry travels to most of the events with me, so we get to see each other quite a bit. But when I'm doing demos, I miss being home for that reason, and for riding with friends. I did get home for little, like, 1-2 day stretches from tour. Unfortunately, it was like 114 heat index. I swam and said, I gotta get out, the water's too hot. But no, it's funny. Actually, Clay was in town recently, and him and Phil went out riding, and my knee was kind of jacked, so I didn't do much but roll around. And they decided to go session at Park, and I decided to go win $942 playing poker. But I was telling them how I was on the way to the casino, and I was having those feelings like, it's so nice out. Those guys are riding the park. What am I doing? I should be going riding. I thought it was kind of cool that, you know, I'm almost 40, and I still feel like if it's ever nice out and I'm not on my bike, I'm cheating myself of life or something. It's kind of weird. Man, the most fun question is a weird one, because if I really had to pick one summer, it would have been summer of '84. And ironically, I had no idea I was going to be a pro bike rider. I remember being depressed half the time, like, this is going to be my last summer to ride my bike every day. I'm going to be going to school. I might have to, you know, join the real world kind of thing. And but I made the most of it. I mean, I'd ride my bike from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. I think back to that summer before I was sponsored and before all of this took off, kind of as the best. But it always seems good to look back. I'll think of memories 2 years ago, and I'm like, man, that was cool back in the day. And you're like, wait, it was 2 years ago. You have to check yourself sometimes. I joked on the Huck Jam, actually, they had this big Associated Press interview thing, and they found out I was older than Tony, so they wanted to interview the older guy. How much longer do you think you can do this? And I'm like, well, you know, I always tell people I want to keep competing until I'm no longer progressing, and then milk it on the decline for 5 or 10 years after that. I'm joking, but at the same time, you know, if I'm out there and I'm enjoying it, and I feel like a lot of times I bring something to the event that some other people don't, I may not put together the winning run in Park, but most of the time, most of the stuff I'm putting in my run are things that other people aren't doing. So if I get enjoyment out of it and other people seem to, well, screw what other people think anyway. But I feel like, why not just keep doing this forever and ever? That being said, I do have, like, you go through, especially at events that I run, that, like, oh, I can compete today, the kind of anxiety of, like, I could get knocked out, or I don't want to suck, and that usual stuff, and you think, it'd be a lot easier if I just ran this stuff. So the thought enters my mind, but then as soon as I drop in and do a run, it disappears, and then after the comp, I'm, like, excited that I rode in it. So I could easily see this going on for several more years. I mean, look, I'll be 43 in 2010. How cool would it be to, like, win an event in 2010?